Welcome to Season 5 of Pants Around Ankles Prevention, where my mission is to help you keep your pants securely buckled and avoid that unexpected, awkward, and embarrassing moment when you realize suddenly that they're not. This season, we're going to do things a little differently with shorts around ankles prevention. Quick, power-packed episodes designed to deliver a punch of truth to help you wake up to a new perspective. Let's see what today's short has in store. This is not about retirement. Retirement, as it is commonly understood and typically executed, is a deeply flawed model. We've built a cultural script where people spend decades trading their energy and efforts, their work, for a paycheck. That's wrong. People are retiring because they have run out of meaning and purpose. Now, by the time this is published, I'll be 73 years old. I am still startled when I'm asked when I'm planning to retire. Now, hopefully these inquiries are a reflection of the change in my hair color and not a reflection of diminished contributions to those people's lives. Yeah, but it does kind of seem to be a normal kind of question to ask for people when they see someone like me who's clearly chronologically starting to fit that profile. But it's really kind of sad because it reflects so poorly on us and our relationship with work. Now, I'm not typical, and I'm sure you're not either. But the typical career path I see involves people getting a job at an early age to provide income. Many, perhaps even most, seem to gravitate to a career path that at least reasonably correlates to their interests and skills, and to the degree that it does, they not only get a paycheck, but though harder to measure, they get some job satisfaction, which is just as important. And then they work and sometimes change jobs for better pay or a better fit for their skills and interests. They get promotions, and upon reaching the backside of middle age, they often master their role. The challenges that once provided them with those intangible, non-monetary benefits have largely disappeared. And what they get replaced with are challenges that just drain you. And at that point, you're now only working for a paycheck. And when the bank account says you have enough money that you don't have to work, they retire. In this country, they often cross the financial finish line with the eligibility for Social Security. And if somebody finds themselves after 30 or 40 years in the workforce in that situation, then they probably ought to retire. If they haven't figured out how to make work provide meaning for them that's significant enough, they probably ought to retire. And that is what I mean when I say our retirement model is a flawed model. And this fits the path for millions of people. Now, the inherent flaw in this model is so clearly apparent in what I've laid out that nobody should miss it. But on a practical basis, as people live their lives, they clearly do. When a vocation ceases to provide suitable non-monetary benefits, purpose and meaning, they don't address it. They just endure it. That's so unfortunate, so sad, and unnecessary. There's a difference between working for money and working for meaning. So people get excited when they have enough money to retire, but the real problem is they've run out of purpose and meaning. So I've written previously about how I think work should work for us. It was back in, I believe, issue 6. So I'm not going to repeat that, other than to say this: healthy work that energizes and feeds you, should be about more than money. Indeed, from a purely philosophic point of view, our vocational choices shouldn't be about money at all. Money should be a byproduct, not a goal. Now, I've always understood that, and each of the career iterations that I have generated has been primarily motivated by something other than money. It's always been about finding appropriate challenges that feed me, energize me, because finding the right challenges creates meaning and purpose. This particular distinction, though, has not always been as clear to me as it is now. I do need to say that. But having said that, I've always enjoyed making money, and I still do, but I discovered a while back that I have crossed a financial threshold. And I have more than enough money. I don't have to work to meet financial obligations or maintain my current standard of living. Yet I still feel a strong need to work. I need to work. That realization that I do not need to include money in any of my motivations has definitely changed how I view a few things. But it has not changed the fact that I feel the need to work. There are two aspects to this. First, as a human being, I firmly believe that when you stop growing, you start dying. And the evidence that so many people start declining more rapidly after they retire is overwhelming. And most of us have stories about how Uncle so-and-so retired in good health and 2 years later he's dead. People mistakenly equate financial independence with life fulfillment. So I know that I need to engage in things that keep me properly stimulated and progressing. Of course, I realize these things don't have to be work, but it also doesn't mean they can't or shouldn't be. And I'm already doing some of these other things. I ride my bike 4 times a week for cardio. I'm lifting weights. I've restarted playing the piano this year. I find that incredibly stimulating and rewarding. And this is all good. But there's a piece missing in all of this, which leads to the second aspect. None of these things I just mentioned is about serving others. They're all about me. My basic purpose in life, what brings me fulfillment, is to help and serve others. Now, there's many ways that can occur, but what has worked best for me and seems to impact the most people is through my vocational choices. I've always insisted that my vocational provides me with appropriate challenges, and when those occasions arise where it no longer serves me the way it should, I change it. So should, or more likely when, the day comes that my current vocations are no longer providing me with the challenges I want and need, I probably won't say, well, time to retire. I suspect it'll be something more along the lines of, what else might get me really excited that I can be doing? And if you read this far, I hope it has dawned on you that this particular newsletter has not been directed only to those approaching retirement age. It's directed to you regardless of where you are in your journey through life. So many retire from their search for meaning and purpose and just wait for the financial finish line to appear. I hope you were not one of them. If you'd like a deeper dive into this topic, consider subscribing to our newsletter, Waking Up, where we will explore it in even more detail. And if you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. See you soon.